Hey you! Yeah you, do you like supporting your team? Do you hate playing medic because you get abandoned and die right before popping Uber? Do you want to be able to defend yourself and still give immense value to team fights? Then I suggest picking up TF2's greatest offensive support class, the Scout. Now I know what you all are thinking. Scout is in the offense category, so of course he can't support his teammates. Ha! Don't worry champ, I'll show you what I mean. Despite seeming like a class devoted exclusively to distraction plays, assassinations, and backcaps, Scout is one of the most versatile and effective support classes in the game, if you play your cards right. Why? Because he has access to the widest number of debuffs in the game. March for Death, Mad Milk, Stuns, Bleeds. Scout can rack up thousands of support points in any given match. Let's get into these one by one. It actually blows my mind that more people don't talk about this. The Cleaver is perfect. Throw it at an enemy and it does 50 damage and inflicts bleeding, which damages them over time and makes your screen all wonky. Tossing this at a key target during a team fight can sometimes swing the fight in your team's favor. Like in this clip, I know a sniper is over there, so I toss out the Cleaver and end up killing him with the bleed, which helps our team capture the point. But even if you don't kill somebody, the bleeding effect makes them panic and run off for healing, so you'll still often get rid of the person you just cleavered. Being able to inflict status effects from long range gives Scout a monstrous edge as a backline support class. You have all the speed and burst damage to capitalize on these debuffs if you see the opportunity, and can guard the entire backline from enemy flanks while simultaneously giving the front line an edge with cleavers. I don't want to neglect its power in straight fights either. In this clip, the enemy soldier was stomping us, so I tossed out a Cleaver to soften him up before moving in, and what do you know? That gave the team an opening to win the round. It's amazing when you don't miss. Missing is less of a factor with the milk jar. This is another item you can just toss out into teamfights to give your team a huge advantage. When somebody is soaked in milk, you can heal yourself for 60% of the damage you deal to them. Yeah, the milk makes you and your team vampires. It works like a grenade, exploding on impact and soaking anyone in its radius. It can extinguish burning teammates, reveal cloaked spies, and is a great source of calcium. But the real star of the show is the healing. Thanks to me splashing this group here, my team's pyro is able to burn them all into ashes without worrying about being shot, which locks them out from defending the point. Seriously, the milk jar can single-handedly swing teamfights in your favor if used at the right time, but it's just one of Scout's items that has that power. The Fan of War is another one that seems designed for teamwork. It does less damage, but gives enemies the mark of death for 15 seconds, causing all damage taken to be mini-crits. I find it hard to make use of, however. If I'm in melee range of an opponent, I'm only easier to hit, and it's usually better to just shoot them. This item works amazingly if you're actively communicating with your team, or playing with friends. Run into a group, mark the most dangerous enemy for death, and tell your teammates to shoot the guy with a skull over his head. It's helpful to mention there is no way to remove the mark of death early. Unlike Girardi or Milk, being healed, charging, or touching resupply lockers does not remove the mark. You have to wait the whole 15 seconds, which is a good bit of time. While it's incredibly useful in coordinated settings, I find it falls slightly flat compared to the next debuff inflicting item. This item gets a bad rap. Including from me. The first time I talked about this thing, I played with it for like 3 games and said, yep, it sucks. I was so wrong. The Sandman lowers your max health, but in return it allows you to launch a baseball that slows down any enemy it hits to the speed of a heavy. Like the Cleaver, it has the added bonus of freaking people out. Movement is really crucial to playing TF2 well, so when somebody suddenly finds themselves moving slower than they should, they usually try to run away until the debuff wears off. Hey look, a soldier! By doing a measly 15 damage and slowing him down, I get him to back off. The lower health is a downside, but the better you are at playing Scout, the less it matters. You shouldn't be taking damage anyway if you're playing Scout. And good use of double jumps and flank routes usually means I don't take much damage at all. Yes, you can get one shot by rockets, but you should be dodging those anyway. You're not supposed to face tank damage as Scout unless you're a bonk user. Plus, the Sandman gives Scout the best voice line in the game.
I love my ball!
So it's clearly a winner. The Milk, Sandman, Cleaver, and Fan are incredibly powerful supportive items that make Scout a monstrous asset to his team. The Rap Assassin is too. It's slightly weaker than the Cleaver, but it still inflicts bleed from a long distance, and now you get to have a different secondary. Hitting somebody with both Milk and Rap Assassin gives Scout a weak health regen, so that's cool. I also love giving Pyros a taste of their own medicine with damage over time effects. How's it taste, Bernie man? Tastes good? And that's not even all! Bonk lets Scout distract sentries. The Sun on a Stick helps him support Pyros. Scout is such a support powerhouse, but people only think of him as a selfish, annoying Boston guy, I guess because that's how people play him. Not me. The long-range status effects plus high speed and high damage have created the most fun Scout playstyle I've ever seen, and I highly encourage all of you to try it out. That's all. Like, subscribe, and get out. Video's over.